Today on JCDC's Arts Jamboree, it's lights, camera, action. I'm your host, Dion Silvera. You know Jamaicans have a flair for the dramatic, right? And we've taken this from the stages of the Jamaican theatre to the big screens of Hollywood. We'll wrap with directors of JCDC drama, talk to them about their process and best practices. Soon come back.
Hi, my name is Joylene Alexander, and I'm the drama teacher at Hillel Academy.
Hello, my name is Ryan McLean. I am a creative and artistic director.
My name is Suzanne Beadle. I'm the theatre arts teacher at Arden High School.
I am Brian Johnson. I am in charge of speech and drama at Mona Preparatory School.
My name is Shauna Miller. I'm the drama tutor at Green Island High School.
Fabian Thomas, and I have several titles, but I guess a relevant one for this would be performing arts specialist and artistic director.
I have been associated with JCDC's drama unit since high school, when we entered a play called Erosion into the drama festival, I think in about 2008, which would have been, let's say, about 12 years ago.
I went to Dehaney Park Primary School and we used to enter festival as a baby. I don't remember a lot of the details, but as a baby. And then when I left high school, I was a part of the Unity Culture dance troupe, and we used to be one of the gold medalists in dance. So my participant in terms of theatre really started as a teacher. But the good thing is that Arden has a long history of excellence in the performing arts. So I inherited excellence already. Very self-sufficient students who knew what they wanted to do and all of that. So it was very easy to get them into that kind of JCDC method of doing things because they already had the foundation, the training, the passion, the discipline. So it was, it was an easy step over.
As a youngster, I was forced by Suzanne Beadle because she thought I had talent. I didn't believe her, but she thought that there was something there. And she pretty much told me that I have to be the lead in the next year's production. And I walked away with the awards for Best Actor, among other things. So,
In the year 2002, I entered JCDC as a performer, doing a piece called I Am a Child. So I've been in JCDC as a performer from 2002 up until 2011 when I graduated from high school. After that, I have been appointed at Excelsior High School as a drama teacher. I entered my students into the festival, and that was in the year 2016 to 2018. I'm on a little break, but I'm coming back.
I've been affiliated with JCDC, I'm going to say since 2012 or maybe a little before, and I'm one of the people who came in as both drama and speech, which I like because I do both. So it's been since 2012. For me, it's nation building. First of all, we really are building the nation. It's also when you love and have a passion for something, and so there's not, even when sometimes when the day them long, and sometimes when the quality is not what it should be, there's something wonderful about witnessing people sharing their gifts.
I have been at Green Island High School for 33 years. Now, my first 3 years I started as language and lit, but in between that I did put in a little drama, but I could not stand my heel because drama was my thing. So before you knew it, even without it being on the curriculum, I had already started drama classes under the rubber tree. So yes, I've been on it a long time now.
Observation is key for me. I observe everything. I observe nature and the things in nature and how they move, because as an experimental creator, I'm gonna pull from all of those things. I observe people, the most important of them all for me. Observing people and the very little nuances about them and how they relate to each other, how they respond in certain situations, how they walk, how they talk, everything about them.
Looking back, there was some kind of process, but in my head, we had no process. In retrospect, we had a lot of play, meaning a lot of play and a lot of improvisation, where we didn't operate from a script initially. We just did a lot of improvisation and playing, and then I would go home and act as the dramaturg. At the time, I didn't know that I was being a dramaturg. I used to just go home. I knew that was my role. Go home and actually put everything together, and then come back and present a script to the cast. So my process at the time is very similar to my process now.
My process with the children here at Mona Prep, I do auditions, first of all, to be a part of the big speech and drama group, and then I'd audition for the specific roles. So again, you volunteer if you'd like to be a part of the process, and I do auditions to see who would fit where. And when we start rehearsals, the first rehearsal really is to talk about the story, talk about the real life information that's in the story.
Oh, I like to say I go from the inside out. So it starts with script, starts with the words on the page, and when it's poetry, so my group, Tribes and Kofa, our niche, what we're known for is staging poetry. So we don't just read or that, we stage it. We create a word or a mini play on the poem. So it starts with the words on the page, and I'm a big believer in you must honor the writer's work. You must call the writer name, make sure people know whose work it is. And if you're gonna take creative license, not too much.
One of the things that I have done with my students is that I don't force things on them. I allow my students to research and come to the table with something. So when I'm gonna do a production, I never come with something that they don't know. We have what we call a think tank. I say to them, come on, let's tell me now. Here is the start of our season. What are some of the issues you'd like to explore? What it does is that they understand that this is not Miss. This is about them. So in a very skillful way, I allow them to make decisions, even though I'm the one who's putting the concept with them. So I allow them, I push them and allow them to think. I would never want to do a process and to direct like a robot. I would never want to do that, nor would I want to direct like a traffic cop.
Our rehearsal process is grounded in passion and discipline. We will help you with the talent part, we will train you, but passion and discipline, you have to have it. And everybody has to be at all the rehearsals, which can be a little bit controversial because, people will feel like I'm wasting time. If I'm rehearsing this play and you're not in it, why do you have to be there? But I really feel like everybody needs to be a part of the entire process.
I watched a movie once called In Time by Andrew Niccol, and the concept in it was so profound, it resonated so deeply with me because it highlighted many of the thoughts I was having at that time about the disparity between the rich and the poor, what life is like for the rich and the poor, and what it means essentially to be poor. When people say I'm poor, what it means. And from that movie and that reflection, I created Run.
Then put a time in back whole life. By the time we reach 9, give me 61,320 hours to live. That's 7 years to live. That means we're supposed to live till like 16. If but I fall in line, I fall prey to them trap. To keep a certain set of people back.
Run is about a group of people from the lower class who live in a world where time is money, and time is figuratively and literally everything. when they come to rehearsal, as I say, it's a lot of running. Yes, and sometimes I'll have them running for like 2 hours, running, speaking, and speaking clearly as well. And to know that they didn't stop and they never complained about it, like never. Even though I know I was sometimes really harsh, rough with them because I wanted them to get it close to perfect, but they never stopped, they never complained, and I think that just spoke so much about their own commitment and their own attitude to hard work.
The concept for whether or not came from the internet. I saw a list of weird news across the world, and I saw one that spoke about a lady suing the weather station because it rained when they said that it would be sunny.
Objection! His learned counsel objecting to statements heard in his mind. The witness has not even been sworn in. My lord, why is he walking with a cane? Is the defense discriminating against the physically disabled? She is not disabled. I do not see the relevance of a cane to this case. Relevance? I think she's merely trying to walk. She does not. Counsel, please allow the witness to be sworn in.
The lady who was suing was from uptown, because I don't think a downtown woman will want to sue for that. She just suck it up. But I wanted her to be a snobby uptown lady who thinks that she's entitled to getting compensation because they lied to her. And she was very dramatic in her telling of her case. And the lawyers were even more dramatic. And what I also wanted to show is how the court system itself is a performance.
At 18, I was traveling into Kingston with my own drama troupe to enter the festival, which that year we won. I got Best Actor, Best Director, Best Play, Best Drama, Best Overall Production. And that possibly was my first insight into to some kind of possibility that I could become, like a professional storyteller.
I'm back to you. You're treating damn people like my damn God. Look here. Listen to me. You see, you know, me know. You leave them alone. Mama, you see, you know, me know. You can leave me alone.
It was a message for the students. It was healing for the community. It was healing for me and for them. And it was a way of getting their message across that, listen to me, we're tired of this. There got to be a better way out. And so that production for me, of all the productions, stood out the most for me.
So there was a year, I think it was 2016, Tribes and Kofa, we decided to enter JCDC. So I declared, can't adjudicate this year, and we did several pieces, including Playwriting 101, which is a lovely piece which has a narrator talking about the act of writing a play. And the characters in the script talk to the audience and talk to they're not supposed to, so the narrator has a remote. So when they talk, he stops them. But then they outgrow him and ignore the remote, and one of them grabs the remote and pauses him. So it's looking at not just the playwriting process, but that idea of, are you being muted? Are characters getting to speak freely? But also in our lives, do you have autonomy of speech?
Pervert, cheapskate, cretin, retard, imbecile! Do you have a how organically the teacher's frustration has increased.
what began as a minor irritation became unbearable when the human desire to control was thwarted.
The precision of language is crucial for the piece. And so that was our challenge, and that's excited us. And I'm happy to say it went really, really well. And it's actually become one of our signature pieces now, because we did it in our season last year. And people aren't used to us doing comedies, because a lot of our stuff tends to be a little more, so people roll on the floor because it's very funny. So it's also now established us as being able to do comedy as well.
Lady Macbeth and the Three Witches was another story altogether, because we had entered a Shakespeare competition and we got Lady Macbeth to do, and we had to Jamaicanize it and do a half-an-hour version of it a couple of years before. And out of that, and that one was co-directed by a young man by the name of Joel Miller, who helps out with Arden, because it's a team, you know, it's a big team of us, right? And so we did Lady Macbeth we did Macbeth for the Shakespeare competition, but again, Alexandra and Jadon John playing Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, and they just shone in that competition. And then the girls who played the Three Witches, so then Joel said, you know, let's do it from Lady Macbeth's perspective and let's step up the role of the Three Witches. And so he revamped the entire thing. And again, to see them just dig deep.
He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, both strong against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shuts the door. Not wear the knife myself. Oh no, what's news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
We will proceed no further in this business.
Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire?
I dare do all that may become a man.
And just to see them get it. You know, you struggle with them during rehearsal and you struggle, you know, they understand it here. And then on the day, you see them bullseye it, so you just have to go like, oh my God, think of my baby.
Theatre, drama is very therapeutic. It is therapy. Whether it is for the performer or for the audience, when you're in that space and you're observing a piece of life placed right in front of you, it pulls out so much out of you that you didn't even know was there. It pulls on certain emotions that you've locked away. And it oftentimes allows you to see yourself and to see others. So it is very therapeutic. And everybody needs therapy. Unfortunately, not everybody can afford therapy. So I would love to see our very known theatre practitioners, the directors, the actors. I'd love to see a nice balance between the in-house theatre, where we go and we charge because you're supposed to charge for it, because trust me, it's a lot of work, yes, and you have a whole team that you need to pay, but also to kind of bring the therapy to the people. So I'd like to see more street theatre happening in Jamaica.
There's this thing that has become popular when you go to any function, whether government or not. You see something like that says cultural item, and there's no acknowledgement of the writer, who's even performing sometimes, which is just a reflection of the position of the arts, you know, in a country that has been so blessed by so many great artists. I want us to move from that cultural item to industry. So that's what my dream is, the movement from the cultural item to a cultural industry, where there's capacity building, there is financial capacity, there's social capacity, we have capacity through greater support from institutions and corporate, yeah, just moving into an industry where young people in schools don't have to feel any less when their dream is to become an artist or someone who works in the cultural industry.
I would love to see every parish with a theatre. It just burns my heart that we have such talent. And if you look at it, all the theatres are in Kingston. Montego Bay, Western Jamaica has half a theatre. And I say half because Fairfield is half. There's no theatre experience. I would love to see a theatre, at least in every region, that our children can go in and see proper theatre. Because all that they're seeing is just a facade of what theatre is. I'd also love to see that there's at least one more college that offers drama in education and offers the whole learning of drama. That our students do not have to be, or people don't have to be, it's not only one avenue, but there are many more avenues. So I'd also want to see that for the JCDC, that there are scholarships that are provided, that our students and our teachers can continue to expose their talent.
My vision for theatre and drama in Jamaica is for it to be more inclusive and to be more collaborative. I think that theatre now is very cliquish, and you have old people theatre, young people theatre, you have roots theatre, you have uptown mainstream theatre, and I think we all can learn from each other and create something that the entire Jamaica can appreciate. Because right now you have different styles of theatre appealing to different types and different classes of people. I think if we can come together, share resources, because sometimes your production company now full the theatre. We're not go half-half, we want to come together and combine, you know, something real worthwhile can happen.
Here's my vision. Music is the child that's up and running. And true like our JCDC, we're going to try to behave yourself and not match nobody can too much. We tend to do a low-hanging fruit thing in Jamaica. So things that working already, we jump on those. Music needs less support. Theatre and dance need to be developed, funded and pushed. Tours abroad. So few people tour because they can't afford it. Opening up of festivals.
I would like to see the theatre industry organized. I would like, and when I say organized, I mean in terms of representation. I would like to see it formalized with an umbrella organization that covers the entire theatre industry, so that there are best practices being done by everybody, so that people don't call and say, Mr. Gisdale, you can send one actor to me. We don't have no money, you know, but them will get the exposure. You can tell JPS say you don't have no money, but advertise say you have a good light. No, you can't. So I would like to see an organization through which everything is funneled. So you know that, okay, if you're going to be hiring these student actors, these are the minimum requirements, and everybody operates based on those minimum requirements. And if you're gonna hire an amateur professional, that makes sense? A new professional, these are the minimum requirements. If you're gonna hire a well-established professional, these are the minimum requirements.
Life is a stage, and all of us have our entrances and exits. Thanks so much for having joined us on Arts Jamboree. It was my pleasure being with you. Remember, if you have an idea for a production or a play, we here at the JCDC are more than happy to help and guide. Remember to join us via social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, I'm Dion Silvera.